I went so far as to tape on my piano the other day 5-finger exercise, and I knew what that meant, but I specifically was referring to this, and I did it every day, and I'm not kidding you. I have found incredible new power and speed and accuracy and evenness on my fingers just probably in 2 weeks of doing that, and I'm really quite excited about it, and I want to share that with you. Now let's dig into the chords specifically. I've got a chord chart, and you can download and print the whole thing out, and it'll show you just what to play. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this lesson, this is actually the 3rd chapter of a series of lessons that I've got on our site, and this series is called Power Fingers because it brings power to your fingers. I would recommend actually that you go through chapters 1 and 2 first, because this is really an expansion of the things that I shared in chapters 1 and 2. You can find them by going to playpianotoday.com/PF, like Power Fingers. And you'll find all the chapters there. In fact, you can check out all our lessons. We've got tons of fun stuff there to really help you improve your musicianship. I'm hoping you've already gone to our site and printed out the chord chart for this lesson, because it's very clear and very simple. I've simply put together the chords as block chords, and once you print them out, you can just set them on your keyboard, and you'll see all the notes at once, and you'll know that we're going from bottom to top, right? And the chords just sit there as big block chords, but you'll know how to break it up by the time you see this whole thing. And when I first demonstrated this a little earlier, I did some of the fancy stuff like this. Going up and down, that's a whole new level, arpeggiating those things up and down. And if you want to do that, I mean, if you're to that level, fantastic. But it's no problem just to start here and not moving them at all. Just getting your fingers to make those back and forth inner movements while you're trying to play all those notes as evenly as you can. Now let me play all the way through the chords in block form, showing you exactly which notes I'm using. This is how they show up on the chord chart. Okay, here's the first chord. And moving to E. The center finger has to move down one note. And then the section repeats. Now in this next move, going to the A flat, we've got some crunchy notes all crunched together up here. That dissonance is so powerful. Now watch the right hand. The center finger and the ring finger have to move. So that's really the power of this exercise, is that as you're moving up and down evenly, you've got to be able to move horizontally with those fingers as well, keeping a really even tone as you're working the exercise. Okay, now your whole hand has to move, and we're going to grab this big F minor 9 chord. Now here's a big D flat. It's a George Gershwin chord. Now if you can't stretch that far, your thumb can just go to the A flat. It's still kind of nice. It's still very nice. Then it repeats that section. Notice the index finger is the one that's making the move on this one, as well as that big thumb move. So those are the chords in block form. Obviously, those are just a few chords out of the infinite number of chord possibilities. With that in mind, let me give you a whole new section now of alternate chords, chords that will give you different hand positions and will allow you to experiment musically as you're playing exercises. I always love to say it's kind of mindless to do just exercises, because the goal is music. So let's make beautiful music at the same time that we're working out your hands. Here's a whole new section of alternate chords now to give you some variety as you play. Now with these alternate versions, let me play them up to speed one time, and then I'll do the exact same thing I did a minute ago and play them in block form. It starts the same, but the left hand goes down. And you could do some answering notes in your left hand if you want to. Now we're going to go all the way down to an F natural. And repeat that. then go to our big D flat chord, and then you can start the whole thing over. I am a big fan of exercising musically, because if you have mindless exercises and you're just exercising your hands like, like robots, that's how you're going to play. So I would really encourage you to start exercising like this, musically. And you could even throw in some answering notes in the left hand and be creative like that. You know, it's kind of interesting. We don't really talk about practicing being creative. But that's an important thing, because I had an instructor tell me in college, and it's so true. You'll perform like you practice. So be creative even during your exercises. So here's the same chords now in block form. Just like the first section, these alternate chords start out the same. Then we go to the next chord, but this time the left hand is going down to an A natural. Isn't that amazing how, although the right hand is playing the same chord as the first set of chords, the left hand moved down and it changed the character. Then it repeats. Now the whole hand moves down to an F chord. And then drops down to the D minor. There it is, and to think about it, and then the my favorite chord, or if you can't stretch that out, just make it to the A flat. That's a nice note on top, and we're back to home. I love playing musically. I love just sitting and creating new things, and I'm hoping that's what I inspire you to do as well. Create new things. That's godly, to be creative and come up with new ideas. His mercies are new every morning. And ideas, that's just such an infinite thing to be a part of, is creating new musical ideas. So I hope this has been helpful for your hands and to inspire you. Again, we have so many more lessons at playpianotoday.com. My name is David Sprunger. I'm sure enjoying putting these together for you. I hope you're enjoying them and smiling as you play. Now you know what to do. Go practice. In this website, there's a wealth of online piano and keyboard lessons that you can dig into right away, including this lesson.